Greetings, people of the earth. Welcome to my digital empire. This is Key, and today I just wanted to make a short video about the power of the mind. Not the mind, actually, the power of consciousness and the relationship that our thoughts have with our emotions and how the whole dynamics work. Because I just did an epic shadow work because I chose to stay home. The power of staying home. It's just, I just want to say a few things about it. Usually, like, we associate productivity with being outside, meeting people, making money, engaging in some kind of physical activity, right? But productivity comes in different layers. Being productive just could simply mean resting your body at home and just opening yourself up to be taught by your inner being. Your inner being knows your relationship with everything. It knows your direction, where you're heading, and what you are like detaching yourself from. So your inner being is your soul, your essence, right? So we are consciousness. We are pure consciousness, source energy. So usually the problem with the human mind or the ego is an identification with thought and emotion. So we're not the thinker of our thoughts, but we are our thoughts. You see, when we whatever it is that we identify ourselves with is going to create a problem in in our way of perceiving the world, perceiving life and existence. So, anyways, like, I just did an epic shadow work. Of course, I'm always thinking about my thoughts and the reality that I'm creating for myself. But when you experience the peak level realization of one thing that you have been working on for a long time, so yeah, that's where I landed. So, anyways, I found this manifestation coach on YouTube. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. I recommend him a lot. If you go and check a few just his videos, he is not like exclusively spiritual, a spiritual teacher. I wouldn't call him a spiritual teacher. I wouldn't call him a scientific person who's just only focused on the material existence. He's a combination of both, which I like very much, and he can actually give you deeper insights on what thoughts are, and actually, like, these the thoughts that create problems in our lives and mislead us uh, in our journeys are like how to deal with your thoughts and emotions in general. So, anyways, like, the first step to understand your thoughts is to create detachment between you, the inner being, and your thoughts. Basically, you are not your mind, you're not your body. You are pure consciousness who's experiencing reality as this body. And of course, as an owner of whatever you want to call as your mind, whatever you want to see as your own. If you claim your mind as your own, and if you say, I think, therefore I am, that's like that would be your state of reality. But basically, the general, like, the better truth that I come to reveal in my spiritual awakening is that I'm neither of these things. These are like, my mind is here to serve me, my body is here to serve me, and I'm the master in this situation. But when I say I'm the master, for example, if your mind is your master, it's it's a very cruel master, right? Because it always creates anxiety and it's abstract. Our thoughts are in nature, they're abstract. So they can come in different ways. A thought could be about one thing, but it can actually you can experience it in a different form, in a different way, not as one thing. So it's just the awareness of the infinite potential and possibilities within the mind that gives you anxiety, or like that gives you that sense of being unease, because now you have different abstract thoughts and state of realities that you want to choose from, but it's like infinite. So you find yourself somewhere like feeling lost. You don't know which one to hold or which one to trust. But when you are meditative and when you are like the observer of your thoughts, most of the time what happens is you have a tunneled view of reality. We all have filters through which we perceive what we see and what we experience using our sensory perceptions. We all have filters. Maybe my filter is a spirituality. I might see everything, every experience through the lens of spirituality, when it's for someone from a scientific point of view, or for someone it could be just they could be indifferent about reality or their perceptions of reality. Okay, so what we're talking about is now, like, after acknowledging that we're the creator of our own realities, we cease to exist in a created reality, right? Like our past already created an identity of either a victim or an achiever, a hero, whichever concept of your past that you are identified from is powerless. Powerless in a sense, it can't control you now, or it can't actually directly relate to you now. It's in the past, and whatever is in the future, it's unknown, it's uncertain, you don't know whether it's happening or not. So it's still, it's a problem, like, when you ground yourself in the present moment, that you're able to see your thoughts and the meaning of your thoughts. So understanding your thoughts really is, for me especially, like, has to do with your lower self. It's often the higher self aspects of us, like the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye or crown chakra. They're just all about experience, having an experience in being. You're just a being who's having these experiences. So you are not any of the contents of your awareness, but you are awareness that's experiencing all of the contents within that awareness. As I'm making this video, I could hear the birds singing, I could hear humans talking in the background, and I'm still speaking, I'm still making this video. So it's just these, all of these things are the contents of my awareness. If I'm identified with one of them, I would be distracted, right? So understanding your thoughts is related to your lower self in a sense, because like our lower chakras are related to survival, relationship. They are earthly. Our lower chakras, like root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus chakra, they govern exclusively our relationship to earth and to life. Okay, they're not like necessarily considerate of our spiritual nature. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and yet we have a human experience because of these lower chakras, because they govern our relationship to earth and to our environment. Do we feel safe or unsafe? Do we feel empowered or disempowered? Are we still living reliving our traumas or not? These are the the reference points, the point of reference for our energetic well-being. So our lower self, our lower energy, is like the one who thinks negative thoughts. We experience negative thoughts because of our lower self. So let's say, for example, you have abandonment issues. You've been abandoned as a child. I had that wound, and of course recently I recovered fully, only very recently. It's a very dense wound. So let's say one of your parents abandoned you when you were a child, but now you are in a stage where you are entering adulthood and you want to date someone. So you love this person, you like them, you're fascinated by them, but when you want to take action, when you want to express yourself and how you feel about them, something holds you back and you think that you're not enough. So this thought of not enoughness, this adulthood thought of not enoughness, is created when you are a child, when you are abandoned by your parents, and that means that you are not worthy, right? So uh unless otherwise you go back to that moment and resolve your trauma and understand in depth how it affects your well-being, general well-being as an adult, it's not gonna it's not it wouldn't be it's not gonna stop creating problems in your relationship. So understanding your thoughts is going to the core of where that thought was created for the first time, and then going like all of this is happening still from a detached perspective. You're just observing that thought and how the core of it, where it started. Okay, so not only that, the emotion that it creates within you, how you think is how you feel, how you feel is how you think, because the emotions are being experienced in the body and thought is being experienced in the mind, but they work together. It's kind of a cyclical relationship. Whatever I am thinking, if I'm saying I'm enough, my body reacts positively. Like, so I experience sweetness in my body, or calmness in my body, or a kind of like prana energy, wave of energy, there's a surge of lights within my body. But when I say I'm not enough, I might feel like something is poisoning my body, or I might experience illness or sickness within my body. So you see, so my body is now used to my my thought of not, I'm not enough, the thought I have about myself, that's related to my lower self. So it reacts to that I'm not enough thought. So either it's my body that feels the emotion first and affects my thought, or it's my thought that affects my body to feel in a certain way. So anyways, there's this loop, okay? Like, either the feeling comes first and influence the thought, or the thought comes first and influences the emotion. So when you work around your thoughts and your emotions, you have to make sure first to identify your thoughts, and which thoughts are empowering, which thoughts are disempowering, or like which thoughts are have limitations within themselves, and which thoughts are like actually supporting your evolution. And after that, to you have to replace this negative thoughts and emotions with a new one, with new thought and new feeling. And how you do that, you have to practice. It's a matter of practice and training yourself to to have a different perspective. If it was my perspective was that I'm not enough because of my childhood experience, once I resolve that trauma, once I experience that trauma as an adult and know that it doesn't have any power over my present, i am now I am now like open to actually developing a new perspective, which is I am enough, right? So when I say I'm enough, my body might resist it the first time, because it's used to I'm not enough. It's like it's almost an addiction, you know. Eckhart Tolle says, calls it pain body, like our body's reaction to our thoughts. So our body is like the subconscious mind. It can't differentiate between your direct experience and your thoughts. It just reacts for everything that your mind says. So once a stagnant energy is created within the body as a response to the thoughts in the mind, it's like there's an addictive pattern within the body. The body just clings to what's familiar, okay? That's why I'm saying we're not our body, we're not our mind, because we are, as consciousness that we are, we're the ones who's supposed to guide these things into the right direction. They're not supposed to like be the ones who guides us. So after developing that, after developing these new perspectives, we have to train our body to feel, to react to those positive thoughts. If it's only positive thought without the emotion, it's still not doing its job. Like I said in one of my videos, it's through our feelings that we are sending signals into the universe. When it comes to the law of attraction, the universe all hears our words and hears our thoughts, but also how we are feeling inside. It has to be the combination of both. So if we are sending signals of abundance, the feeling of being abundant, for example, saying that you are abundant is not enough. You have to actually feel it so that it can create a momentum, new perspective, new thoughts that's supportive of what you want to be in the future, what you want to, the experiences you want to have in the future, and the emotions that support that future vision is what creates a momentum. Once the momentum is created, it's fine. The momentum might come low or it might go up, the frequency might be different within that momentum, but once it's created, you will have to do what you have to do to sustain it, and of course you will be motivated enough to actually be in that momentum. I'm on that faith in my life. So Dr. Joe Dispenza says, if you're not defined by the vision of your future, you are defined by the past, or uncertain, like a vague future. Okay, like when it's, you have to be defined by the vision of your future, because that's everything that you want, right? Once you know what you want for sure, which is the hardest part. Okay, it might take you a year or 2 years to actually understand what you want, and because you can know what you want when you know who you are. There's, they go together. So if you know, once you, when you know like who you are and what you want, the next step is to make sure that you want it enough to create it in the future. So for you to create it in the future, you have to let go of all of the limiting beliefs you have around the things that you want to create in the future. If my mind is saying love is dangerous, if it registers intimacy as a dangerous thing instead of as a supportive thing, as a beautiful thing, I have to, I have to train my mind to think that it's okay to be in love, it's safe to be intimate with someone. Maybe it wasn't safe when I was a child, when I tried to have a meaningful connection with the people who raised me, but now it's possible because I'm not defined by my past, I'm not defined by my body, I'm not defined by my story. Who I am is a loving awareness. Really, at the deepest of our core, who we are is just a perception, honestly. Like, we are a perception. Everything is perception, even you. This, whatever you call physical reality, is not really there in a sense. We are 99.99% empty space, and uh it's like every reality, like when I say that I know that this tree is there, and when someone else is saying that this tree is there, we don't experience the tree in the same way. For me, it might mean life itself. For someone, it might just mean, um it might just mean just a tree. It might not have any meaning. So which one is right, we don't know. So in that case, we're not really like, that's why the Hindus call uh, this word Maya, the Maya, because the eyes are deceiving. What you are seeing in your eyes, don't believe it as an absolute truth. It's just your own truth. And all truth is relative. For me, the only absolute truth that I know is love, and who which I am. And yeah, that's it. So, anyways, like Dr. Dispenza would say something like, most of our thoughts are other people's thoughts, not our own. Because a thought is like, thoughts are like networks of energy fields. So I might be picking, the empaths have this thing that we do. We might pick up on other people's emotions and thoughts, would then later claim them as our own. That's why you would hear like advices like, do not absorb. If you are an empath, do not absorb. Just know that they are there, but do not take them as yours. So the other thing that I was fascinated by, that I heard him saying, is the hardest part about change is not making the same choices as you made yesterday. So you're going out of your comfort zone. You're not anymore stable. You are entering the phase of the unknown, and things are not certain there. That's what makes it scary. But on the other side of things, whatever the ego is clinging and identifying with and telling you that you must do or you must be, is also dangerous on the same level, I would say. Because clinging is as might feel as threatening as letting go of everything. But like, what's the benefit? What's the importance of letting go is that so finally you can create a new experience in your own term. You are not like what was created for you in your childhood, or you're not what you've been told by the society. You are the reality and the experience that you are creating. So anyways, like, after you change your perspectives and after you train your body to sit down and to actually react positively to those newly created perspectives, the next and the last step would be like creating future memories as if they were happening. That's what I'm doing. I have a lot of creative future memories that I created that I'm always thinking about, like daydreaming about. Be a good daydreamer. I mean, being productive is not only, like I said, even like, it's not, it might not even be physical. Being productive, taking action could be just in your mind. I'm taking action by creating what I want to see in the future. because like whatever you think as something that you want in the future, it's already happening. Because if it happens in your mind, everything was a thought. This room was a thought before it was built. Someone must have thought about it and then built it, manifest it, right? So whatever you wish to see in the future, it's happening. It's happening in the future. You're just adjusting your vibration to match it, to match what's happening. I'm just adjusting my vibration to match the future that I have created for myself, which is already there. That should be your attitude. That's why when I hear manifestation coach, don't say I want, say I have. Don't say I want to be, say I am. Whatever you want to manifest, know that it's already there. There's no reason for the universe to not give it, especially if it's meant to be and if you actually trust it. So yeah, do this experiment. I love it so much. I'm now like at a phase in my life where all of my lower self thoughts, like this lower chakra thoughts and emotions, are being processed. Some of them are still being processed. I've processed my abandonment issue, for example. I have processed my trust issues like feeling unsafe. So yeah, they're still being processed, but I'm like more or less having these new perspectives already. I write them down every time. I believe I'm a great journaler. Just journal, write it down, whatever you're thinking, you're feeling, and take note of what's going on inside of you. So yeah, I'm creating new thoughts and I'm training my body. When you train your body to actually match up the positive thoughts in your mind, please do some breath work and make sure that you're exercising. Could be yoga, walking, whatever. Exercising at least every day, once every day, and drinking a lot of water and herbal drinks and like ginger, using this nurturing uh, eatable things, food and drinks. And make sure you're taking care of yourself, because there's a lot of energy that takes to do shadow work, and then even after the shadow work, training yourself to adjust to a new reality that you're creating. So I'll be talking about the law of attraction and related stuff even in the future videos. I love you so much. Rastafari. Have a great day and night. Bless I.